now.
Oh right. Yeah.
So we're we're just discussing what we're actually going to discuss during the podcast. And what did you just say? How deep are we going to go?
And you said as deep as the carers went into you.
That's correct. I'm willing to go deep.
And he was black.
He was actually. His name was Mr. Johnson.
So,
The very first bodybuilder I ever met in my life and seen was the one that abused me at boarding school. And then it turns out I end up being a bodybuilder. Factual information. Everyone else in here feels awkward but me. They're all like, okay then, tumbleweed. But it's alright because I'm about to get a massive payout. Yes. Anyway, moving on. So how deep did a special uncle go with you?
Nobody actually went deep inside of me.
Oh, come on, we've all got that fucking special uncle.
No, I don't think I did. Not that I remember.
What was the point in that fucking question then?
Because I just wanted to know how deep he went in you.
It's pretty fucking deep.
Did it like penetrate and choke you at the same time?
Wow. Wow. I don't know whether I'm going to laugh or just break down and fucking cry. It was, I sort of blocked it out, to be honest, up until now.
Oh, right.
You've sort of broke through what counsellors and rehabilitation people have failed to do, Dean.
So I trained to find the good in every situation. So what good come from
What was the purpose of this question? Where were we starting from? What was the original question? This has just gone fucking weird, hasn't it?
The purpose is I believe anyone, especially in training or anyone who's successful in life, have been through some horrible, hard shit, especially in bodybuilding, to be able to get the condition to push yourself to the limits that most people can't. I've had to go through some hardship in life to harden your mind, your mentality, to push yourself that far. So I believe the more shit that people have been through, you can find the good out of that situation by seeing what it's done for you in the future.
Yeah.
So if you hadn't been through so much shit, do you believe you could be where you are today?
No. And you know what? Funny you should say that. I mean, we won't fucking bore people with the details, but even my dad gave me a lot of physical abuse, violent abuse when I was younger, and I held a lot of grudges against him. It was only up until recently, I'm going to get to that point now, where Harry was sort of an intermediate. It was actually about 6 or 7 months ago, and we had my dad there, and I reminded him of certain things that he did, and I didn't want an apology off him. I actually said to him, I just want you to admit that you was wrong. And if I could go back, I probably wouldn't change anything anyway. This is what I told him. Because if you didn't act like that, if you didn't give me this person that I sort of wanted to be like and turn me into that person, I wouldn't be where I am now. I would probably have a normal 9-to-5 office job working for somebody else. So it's like people say, do you regret going to prison? I mean, I don't want to go to prison again, but I think it was a fucking great experience. Believe it. Oh, fuck me, reading situations. And I think you mature a lot more. Things like that, whether it's prison or whether it's somebody being overly aggressive with you when you're a child, disciplining you, abuse in care, things like that either make you or break you.
Yeah.
And it either turns you into a real timid fucking pussy cat, or it turns you into somebody who snaps, who doesn't take shit, maybe not necessarily in a violent way, or it did with certain bits of my life, but even in a business way, you always end up being that dominant person in conversations. You always end up being that the soul and life of the party with your friends. It's always the funny one that ends up when they're at home, they've got demons on their own. Do you know what I mean? When they're around their friends, we're the funny ones, we're the life and soul of the party, but they've always had certain issues in their past. So I don't regret, and if I could go back, I wouldn't change any of this shit that I've been through, because it makes you what you are now. I don't know about you.
Well, I'm exactly the same. I was about to go. I mean, we been friends for many years, and we joke around a lot, and we take the piss all the time, but this is actually a genuine deep conversation that we're having now. And similar to Aarron, the shit that he went through as a child, I had similar experiences. My father was alcoholic. he would beat us, beat my mom, rape her, and regular experiences, smash the house up and go for all that shit.
Yeah, I feel like we're on fucking who's going to score the most points here.
It's not a competition. But
well, I feel like my mum should have been raped or something.
My dad hit my mum harder than yours. It's not a competition.
I bet my dad threw my mum down the stairs harder than yours.
You see how jokes get out of control. But on a serious note,
my mum wasn't raped. I just want to throw that out. Out there.
Serious situation. The shit that we both went through, the same with me. That's what gave me this hardened mentality to push myself beyond what most people can't. I started off as a cross-country running at school because I was always running away from home and I was just naturally running. At school, when we got pushed into sports and track and field, we do cross-country, and normal kids, they get out of breath, it gets hard, they stop, they walk. It's normal. Why would you push yourself through pain? Pain was just a normal daily thing to us. I would push and push and push. I'd be sick on the floor. I'd crawl until I finished that line. And then I was the little skinny small kid at school. There's no way I had a chance against these guys twice my size. And I was winning. And the first time I won, I got cheered and congratulated. I got a medal. First time in my life, I felt significant. I felt something worth something in my life. And that kind of spiraled. I liked that. I craved that so much that it pushed me to compete more. So I went on, I run and won district cross-country championships. I grew up, I got a bit older. I got into martial arts. I competed in Thai boxing, MMA. And I had a really good teacher who taught me discipline and respect in martial arts, which was a big turning point in my life. I could have went down the wrong road and become a horrible little shit doing all kinds of crap. You got out of that later on. You took a different crossroad later on in life.
Well, I tried to run away when I was a kid like you did. You went into cross country and you just run away. I tried to run away from the abuse, and then I got about 2 yards, had an asthma attack, and ended up in intensive care, which is even fucking worse. And then delivered back to the care that I tried to run away from. So I was doubly fucked.
You needed more abuse before me. So that was my crossroad in life, and it pushed me onto a better path, and I respected people, got the discipline from martial arts. As I got a bit older, I always wanted to be big and strong, and the reason for that was when we went through as a child, I promised myself that I need to be bigger, stronger, so I can protect myself and any loved ones around me. So
exactly the same reason why I started bodybuilding, because you think, well, if you're the big guy, no one will want to fight you, and then as soon as you become the big guy, how fucking wrong were we? We've both done the doors for many years. It's always that situation. You go to back your mate up, and when you back your mate up, you can guarantee the people in front are all fucking looking at you. Yeah. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Little guy wants to fight you because it's a win-win, and if he gets knocked out, it's like, well, you're a bully, you are. You're bigger than him. If he knocks you out, oh yeah, look at him, David and Goliath. You can't win.
No, and that was the same reason why I got into it.
Well, I did the fight in the martial arts first, and I was a very small, slim, skinny kid, so I got quite good at that. With the attitude that I had, the mentality from a child, I pushed that onto the martial arts, and I excelled. I won everything in that. Then later on, I got into the bodybuilding, started pushing weights, and I just wanted to be big and strong. And I just got into it so much. I learned the basics of dieting, and I made tremendous gains. I'd push myself in the gym till I was sick on the floor, especially training legs and deadlifts, stuff like that. And there was a guy, Jeff Collins, who used to own the gym that I trained at. He was an old judge photographer for Flex magazine.
Was it him that abused you?
In a way, he kind of groomed me.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
He spotted me, and he basically said, look, I'm an ex-judge, this and that. I think you got great potential.
I'm a friendly dad.
For bodybuilding. Come around my house, get into little pants, and I'll take some pictures.
You know what? It's funny that, because Simon Fan did the same with me.
Exactly.
Before I knew it, I was in Simon's living room in my pants. I didn't even know who this was.
I met Simon Fan through Jeff, so I think there's some kind of group.
Some sort of ring going on, isn't there?
Yeah.
When you look back on it.
And they all, them fucking denim cut-off shorts, I have nightmares about them. Everyone's worn them.
We are joking. Simon Fan is not a sex offender. He's a great guy and our closest friend. We just want to clear that up. Yeah. Well, we were groomed. But
anyway, back to the story.
Sorry.
So Jeff kept asking me, would you do a competition? I think you got great potential. And I was like, I don't want to stand on stage in little tiny pants oiled up. It's not my thing. I'm not into that. I just want to be big and strong. And I carried on, and he kept asking me, and I thought, you know what, I'm making good gains. So I thought I'd listen to what this guy's got to say. He's a former judge. He's a photographer. He knows what he's talking about. So I gave him a chance, and he basically taught me all the basics of proper dieting and training, what I should be doing. So I agreed to do a competition. I was 19 at the time. So he taught me into it and said, look, basically, you're going to do a proper competition. If you're going to do this and you're serious about it, then you're going to have to go down the path and take some steroids and this and that to compete with the kind of guys that you're up against.
I would like to point out, you did the basic thing what we all did when we trained for a load of years naturally, got our body to that fucking point where it was the best it could be naturally before we took gear, which is what we did then.
Yeah. Training. And back then, somebody would approach you and say, I think you've got good potential. Would you compete? These days, everyone walks in the gym, they're competing in 6 weeks, and most of them have no potential, but in their head they do. So basically, he trained me up for a year, and he pushed me, and especially legs would be sick every week. And in that 1 year, I made some tremendous progress. Again, all from the mentality of what I had from a child to just push. When most people can't do that because it hurts, it's horrible. Why would you do that? When I was a kid and I was going through that shit, I used to self-harm a lot. When I got into training, like you cutting yourself up, people notice that. So when I got into training, I found a way, like an outlet, I can hurt myself and I'm only getting benefits from it. I'd push myself to the extremes without having to cut myself, and I was growing. I was getting.
You say about hurting yourself. I think it's like it is a mental illness, because I end up doing the same, pushing myself to that point where you're hurting yourself. It's like sometimes you don't want yourself to be happy. You want to constantly put yourself through pain. Yeah. Which is why people say, Aaron, you not give a fuck. You're not scared of someone. Well, you say something, and you know, I talk the truth about other things, and I've got a lot of people in the industry that don't like me. Who say, what's the worst they can do is give me a black eye. Until somebody can put me through as much pain as what I can fucking put myself through, then I'll be worried. Yeah. Until then, they don't realise the pain, the mentality of bodybuilding, of why we actually started, and a lot of old school bodybuilders started, like you said, because they've got issues. Yeah. It's not, right now it's become fashionable. We did it before that. Yeah. Do you see what I mean?
The people now coming into the sport, there's all these new classes like the call them bikini boys or whatever, taking the piss. Or they don't get into really hard condition. They can't have too much muscle. So it's like a really easy version of bodybuilding. So you don't have to push yourself to those extremes. Yeah. People get on stage just to say, I've done it. Yeah. So you're getting a massive fluctuation of thousands of people competing. As a business point of view, it's bringing a lot of money. Asses on chairs, they bring their families, a lot of ticket sales. But you're kind of losing that whole.
But we did it, like you said, as a lifestyle. Yeah. But going back to what you were saying about the hurting yourself, that's why. Yeah,
I pushed myself to those limits, and like I wasn't even pushing myself to that to get bigger. That was just kind of like a side effect. So as I did that for a year solid, and I competed. I won my first show. It was Mansfield Classic, and that gave me an invite to the British Championships. And I won the juniors when I was 20. It was under 21s back then. And I won the British Championships as a junior. So I wasn't that much into bodybuilding. I loved the training and I loved getting bigger, stronger. So I kind of had a break after that. I won it a little too easy. And I went back into martial arts, and I was doing more MMA for about 4 years. And then basically I got in bad crowds. I was out drinking a lot, and my life was all over the place. And I got to the stage, I started growing up, and I thought, you know what, I want to sort my life out.
You never grew up?
I never grew up, no, but I wanted to sort my life out.
Still a fucking child.
I'm 8 years old mentally, and I'm never going to grow up. My body's getting older, but I'm not.
I'm a real boy.
Peter Pan.
Sorry, go on.
So I thought, what's going to...
Is that what you used to say when you were getting abused? I'm a real boy. I'm a real boy. Sorry, that's... I'm not sorry. I don't even know why I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
We can joke about this, but like most people would get offended.
They would.
But anyway, I wanted to get my life back on track, so I decided to get back into competing. Not because I enjoyed competing, but because it gave me that regimental you know what it's like when you diet and you can't go out drinking, you can't go for a meal. It's very strict, 6 to 8 meals a day. It's just, all your life is eat, train, sleep, eat, train, sleep.
Which I don't miss at all.
No, I mean, I did it for 14 years. I mean, I did that. I had 4 years off, and then I competed 10 years in a row every single year. And it kept me regimental and focused on something, which I don't. I joke around, I say I wasted 10 years of my life competing. I don't regret anything in my life.
Right, back to what I said, even though you didn't enjoy the days of competing, we wouldn't be where we are now if we didn't. So you never regret anything. Doesn't mean you enjoyed it.
Yeah,
doesn't mean that you would want to do it again.
I
whether it be prison, the abuse, the fucking, or competing, wherever it may be. But that's what makes you.
Yeah. So when I go through all that and I got to where I am, like, I look back on it, and most of my life I went through, like you said, I put everything to the back of my head and pretend it didn't happen.
Don't fucking make yourself like me, you cunt.
I don't want to be
fucking, one, you run away from the abuse. I had an asthma attack and got fucking sent back. 2, everything you fucking dabbled in, running, you fucking won. MMA, you fucking won. Bodybuilding, you fucking won. I lost everything. Not only was I fucking fucked, literally.
You couldn't even run away.
I couldn't even run away.
You shit at that.
I know. I was fucking I was born with a disability with me fucking lungs, severe asthma, all the way through primary school. I was that fucking kid on a breathing apparatus that stunk of piss. I wet the bed until I was 16.
You should have tried rolling. You would have got further. Only if it was downhill, mind.
Fucking compare yourself to me.
I don't want to be
deserve my fucking payout. I'm entitled. Sorry, go on.
You're that blame game, aren't you? Blame the world. But anyway.
And now I've made a fortune out of being a failure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
It's the only thing I've been good at.
So when I
thought you could become a millionaire by calling the policeman a dickhead, eh?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So when
carry on.
So anyway, lost my thought track now. Spiraling off.
So you were winning.
Yeah. So
something along them lines.
Winning, and losing my life away.
Yeah.
So when I look back, like most of my life, I kind of locked it all away and pretended it didn't happen until I got to a certain stage that I thought you can find the good in every situation. So I forgave my father for what he did, and I got to the stage where I'm not saying anything that he did was right and it was acceptable, but I'm glad that he did what he did and what we went through, because that childhood gave me this mentality. The martial arts give me the respect and discipline. The bodybuilding give me the strength and the confidence. So when I went through all that in life, it was molding me as a person. And when you put all of that together, I come out a 10 times better person than I could ever be if I hadn't been through that shit.
And 10 times better person than he would ever be.
Yeah,
as well, which you got to add on. I mean, it's funny when people I gloat about something and basically try and inspire everybody else and do the same thing. And when I joke about something or I'm proud of something, I put something up, you'll always get some idiot, Aarron, remember where you come from. No, I don't want to remember. It was fucking horrible. I want to forget it. If you had my life, you'd want to forget it too. Fuck off. Let me enjoy my fucking day of buying something for once.
I always try and look for the good in every situation these days. And all my life I wouldn't talk about these situations in my past, but now I've got to the stage where I'm so
We've
open
opened
about
the
it.
shit out of it tonight.
Yeah, I'm really, because I've got nothing to hide and I've forgiven everything and I'm happy about it. So now I see I can use this to everything that I've achieved in life. Is anyone in those situations that are going through that shit? Any of you out there that are going through similar situations, Aarron in prison, abuse, any of what we've been through?
Oh, that you prison and abuse. When I did 4.5 years in prison, I weren't abused once, right?
I'll use the abuser.
Mate, wow. I was a cunt in jail. The abuse happened when I was a kid. Okay. I'd like to point that out.
Okay. So sounds to me like something bad happened in prison. So anyone that is going for that kind of shit, don't give up on life, because look what Aarron's achieved now, or everything that he's got. Me winning British titles and everything that I've achieved, I'm winning I had
nothing.
Yeah, of course. We both started with nothing. I mean, I have nothing to what Aarron has.
When we met each other, we were both still working on the doors. You were working in Birmingham, I think, and I was working in Peterborough.
Yeah, I worked here. It was shithole. Hated that job. But when you're going for those situations, you see somebody like Aarron, it's inspirational. Don't give up on life. You can do it too. When you reach the people and say, oh, you've been through this, they're like, who the fuck are you to say what I can and can't do? But when you see someone like Aarron who's been through that shit and he's came out the other side and more what he's achieved, then you can kind of relate to it and see maybe I can do something with my life too. And that's why I can be so open about all this now, because I want to reach out to these kind of people and make a difference and try and help and inspire these people any way we can. And I suppose you're the same with everything you do, why you want to help people through training. And
I try and tell people that the day I started looking after number one is the day I started doing well for myself. And you do look after number one. People go, no, you don't. Your kids are number one. No. I'm not saying you wouldn't go to jail for your kids. I'm not saying you wouldn't do anything for your kids. But if you start putting everybody else number one before you physically, you are weak. What you need to do is you need to make yourself physically strong and yourself financially stable. Only when you're like that, you can look after the people that are around you. Just because you've lost everything, your missus has gone, maybe you're fucking looking at a 4-year sentence, 6-year sentence, maybe you're already in prison, maybe you just left prison, you can't get a fucking job seekers aren't helping you, you haven't claimed enough national insurance because you've been in prison, and you've got nothing. There is always something. You never know what's around the next corner every fucking single time, and that is what I try and tell people. And moving on really to the Mental Hamster team. Fucking shut up, Marley. This is why nothing's ever edited. Moving on to the Mental Hamster team. Our whole team, whether it would be Kizzy, whether it would be Phil, whether it be yourself, whether it would be Lee Priest, whether it would be me, is made up of real people. We don't need to employ a woman to stick her ass out just to sell a fucking product. We want people that have had shit, people that I know of, more importantly, people that I've known of at the beginning of the sport or before the sport. Becoming who I've become now, as you've realised from watching me, we don't see each other often. We're one of my best friends. But when we do see each other, it's like we haven't been apart. It's one of them ones. Same with Rand, same with Simon. But when you've created what I've created, which is fucking great, but you sort of attract a load of fake people around you, which you've already noticed. So now what we've done,
what they can get
me, Billy, Harry, a whole team have now built an invisible wall, so to speak, around our unit. We have a private gym, a private members gym. The only people that are allowed in are the people we know, and the only people now that get involved in my business are the people that I've known in the industry for a long time or from way back when. I'm not interested in anybody new, and I'm interested in real people. Lee Priest, in my eyes, well, he was my idol as I was growing up. Now I can call him one of my closest friends, which is fucking incredible. But in my eyes, from knowing him and doing the tours when we created, what was the fucking company? I forgot what it was called.
What? Alpha?
The muscle promotions.
Oh,
that I did. We worked with a lot of athletes, whereas Phil Heath, Sean Ray, other people, Tom Platts. Lee Priest is the realest athlete, and he's gone through a lot of shit, just like we have. So it's not just about selling products. My products sell. Anyway, we're at that point now. I never need to do another video again, and that will still be enough to make sure everybody's employed, my bills are paid. Yes, the videos boost sales, of course they do, but I do the videos for 3 reasons. One, people say when I talk about mental health or different issues in life, fucking hell, Aarron, you're helping me, you're doing this, you're doing that. They have no idea that just talking about it actually helps me, and it controls me. So how can I tell somebody not to do something and then I go and do the same? So it actually helps me. 2, it inspires people that just because they may have done fuck ups, their life isn't over. And 3, the people that don't like me, the people that I've fallen out with, the people that I've had serious beef with from my past, maybe it be ex-relationships, ex-business partners, I've never looked on their page since the moment we fell out. What I do is if I don't like you, I block you, don't need to. But I know they can't help but fucking watch me. So if you're going to watch me, I'll fucking show you everything. I'll show you when I'm hanging out with my mates. I'll show you when I'm partying. I'll show you when I'm earning money. I'll show you when I'm buying a fucking car. I'll show fucking everything. And those are the reasons why we do what we do. And the whole team now is made up. So I haven't now got somebody on the team that just can talk. You're one of the most knowledgeable people, most knowledgeable person I know in the industry that is still, I know you're not competing at the moment, but in that term still competes. You are not just talking about that. You're not a one-trick pony. You can talk about other things, whether it be going through the motions, whether it be people like you say that have had abusive backgrounds or have struggled with stuff or whatever. In your own time, you're even doing circuits for people at Ultimate Fitness on the rooftop. Yeah. So it could be anything. So what I'm trying to say is we've got people on the team that don't just do or give advice on bodybuilding. It's health and fitness in general and motivation and mental health. And that is what makes Mental Hamster different from the rest, because it's a fucking lifestyle. There is no, and it fucking frustrates me because you've got, let's say, a lad called Craig. He's probably got a kid at home, a missus. He's trying his fucking best day in, day out, working in a warehouse, going from agency job to agency job. And we all know nothing is ever secure with them jobs. On minimum wage, he looks at a magazine. He can't even afford a brand new Flex magazine. Not like me. I got given a load of the 1990s ones by my brother-in-law, and you just go through them. Right. You go through boxes of them, and then he sees a Mr. Olympia who's fucking inspiring, of course, because you want to look at a fucking freak. It's like, wow. And then he goes, right, buy this product. You could be Mr. Olympia, and he spends his hard-earned money on that, which we know is a load of shit. Even the article isn't even written by them.
Usually not.
So what we're saying is,
shit in every magazine.
With our stuff, I'm not telling you will look like me. It's impossible. Even if your dad fucked my mum, you couldn't look like me. The same with Dean. But you can be the best you can be. And this, any products, my products, any products, aren't going to work unless you've got the motivation and determination. You know, you're willing to put yourself out there and train. Only when you are doing that, then they're going to work. And we give people the advice. So the fat burners, yes, you can buy fat burners at 16, 15, 14. You can walk into a supplement shop. I don't even think there's a law on it. But I don't need to do this. I tell people online, and just like I'd want you and Kizzy, Phil and Lee to say the same thing when you're getting kids inbox you, and I tell the admin that look after my inboxes, if you get somebody that says I'm 15 or I'm 16 or I'm 18 years old, well, how do I take the fat burners? I tell people, if you're under the age of 21, you don't need them because your metabolism is strong enough. If you're under the age of 21, you don't need the testosterone enhancers because your testosterone should be high enough. And you should, because when you create this social media, when you create this social media following, yes, it's created a business if you're clever, but you shouldn't treat it like that. You should. I treat it more of as a responsibility. Yeah, and we're telling people the truth, and that is what makes our team different from the rest. And it's because
this is why I love, why I wanted to be on board so much. Because
it's because we pay you. We're the only company that fucking pay any.
Well, that as well. Yeah. But mainly because I see that the secret of living is giving, and the more you do for other people, eventually it comes back round to you. So when you're telling the truth, you're building relationships with the customers, and eventually you'll get their trust because you're telling them the fucking truth. If you say, take this, you're going to lose fat, the fat burner, just take that, you'll lose fat. That's fucking bullshit. It's not going to happen. If you just take that and do nothing, you're not going to lose fat. If you eat properly and you train properly, you take the fat burner, it's going to help you lose fat quicker. Yeah. That's the truth. And that's what you tell people. You're not just trying to get a sale. So you tell them the truth. You tell them exactly how it is, and people can relate to you and start to trust you.
Either. Yeah. I mean, just because Dean's got his own fans and followers, not as many as me, but he has some, and they will know. And in case they don't know, and you guys are new and you've only just met Dean, he was with 5% not so long ago, and I took him from 5%. Now, I do not want, like a lot of athletes do, this is the best product, I'll only ever eat ours is the fucking best, but there are other products just as good. I'm not saying we are the only best. It's like our protein, it's hydrolyzed, it's got digestive enzymes in it, but so does Optimum Nutrition. They're just as fucking good. Yeah. All I'm saying is we make ours ourselves, and I know what goes on it, and we source the ingredients, but there are other products just as good, and I'm not going to sit here and lie to others. So with 5%, I'm telling you, I don't need him to tell you, I'm telling you that their products are fucking shit hot. There is the All Day You May. I love them. But Dean has come over to me. One, he knows me. Two, he wasn't getting paid with them. I'm paying him a lot more, and it's more opportunities for him. But if my company was just a Mickey Mouse company that got another brand to make my stuff with their label on it, I don't think, as much as we are friends, you would have come over, because, well, I hope you wouldn't.
Every sponsor I've had in the past, I've said to them, I give my honest opinion.
Yes.
So, for example, when
I'm a perfect excuse for that, because when I gave you the coffee, the first thing you said is, "I think it's a genius product, but I don't like your taste."
Coffee. I'm not going to try it, but I think this is an amazing
does
product.
actually like it. It's like a Marmite thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't drink coffee, but I believe in that product. It's fucking awesome. Everybody I've got to try it, I'm getting people crying out for it. But I believe that is an amazing product.
But I don't want your followers or any fans of Dean to go, "Oh, well, he's just like every other bodybuilder. He was pushing 5% the other month. Now he's pushing Mental Hamster." If he likes that product, he'll still use that product. Earlier, he's still got 5% in his bag, and I had a bit when we were at Ultimate Fitness.
When I was with 5%, I give my honest truth to them as well. Like they're real food. Brilliant product. Yeah, use that all
I've
day
never
long.
actually used that, but I have heard that.
It's a carbohydrate, but it's made from real food like sweet potatoes, yams, and oats. Brilliant. They're mentality products. I think it's a waste of time. It's bullshit.
Right.
I told them that. I said I'm not going to promote this on my sites. The products I believe in, I'll push that all day long.
Well, glad you mentioned that, because like I've said to the athletes on board, I said the same to Lee as well. Dean, I've already told you all, is the most knowledgeable person in the bodybuilding fitness industry. Not in the world, but in the UK. Don't get a fucking big head; it's fat enough.
I wouldn't go that far. UK, maybe in this room.
But he's more knowledgeable than me about supplements and nutrition. And I've said to Dean, and I haven't made it public, but I'll make it public now. If he came up with an idea of something that he uses, and maybe he uses different brands of different ingredients, and because I know you make up your own concoctions, I said it will be something we would make anyway. So all of our athletes have the opportunity. Not only are they close friends of mine, they all know what they're doing. They have the opportunity now to make their own products.
Just to have that input into the products.
Of course, yeah, which I'd want.
Yeah. I remember when I came on board with Aarron, and I basically said, okay, so what do you need me to do with this sponsorship? And Aarron turned around and says, nothing. I just want you to take the products and give your honest opinion.
That's right.
And like,
I even said to you, there's no, because you said, well, what about certain posts a week? Certain this? I said, I don't give a fuck.
With my last sponsorship, it was like, you have to do this many posts on this many days. You have to talk. I'm like, do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not even getting paid for this, and you're demanding so much. Aarron pays me, gives me as many supplements as I want, and all he asks is that I give my honest opinion. Because one, he's a close friend, and I want to see him succeed. And two, because of the way he is like this, that makes me want to do 10 times more for him. So I do posters 10 times more for this than what I did with my old.
It's not cheesy posts. If you want to put a product in the background while you're training or doing something, or you're doing a podcast for beef, then that's fine. But I'm going to give you a bit of advice. If you own a supplement company, you shouldn't be sponsoring an athlete thinking of the return you're going to get. The only way you should sponsor athletes, if you are going to do it at all, you've got to treat it like it's spare money that you don't mind losing, because it's going to be like a dead end. In order to sponsor an athlete, in my opinion, because I've been an athlete, is athletes don't get paid in this industry. Especially in the UK, there is not one fucking person that gets a financial payment from in the UK from a supplement company. I think we're the only ones to do it. If you're going to sponsor somebody, then I want to pay Dean because of what he's achieved and what you look and what you look like. That deserves a payment. Then I want you to use my products, and if you use my products and you get on with them, which I gave you them before the sponsorship because I wanted to know if you did get on with them. There's no point in me doing it if you don't like them. Then all you're going to do is honest reviews. I don't care about how many fucking posts you do. I don't care about the frequent whether you do them frequently or not. I want you to do them because you want to. So when I was under James with Muscle Talk, I wanted to do it because I wanted to. Yeah. If I got the opportunity when I was 17, 18 to work in the gym that I started training, and I got the opportunity to sweep the floor, I'd have fucking done it, clean the toilets. I'd have done it because you wanted to. Of course. That was without any payment, because you wanted to be part of that group, part of that circle. So it's a Mental Hamster is a lifestyle, and I want people to be able to do it because they want to, not because they're forced to. And I think that's how you get the best out of somebody. Now, that's a bit of advice for companies out there. Now, if you are an athlete or somebody getting into the sport and you want advice on how to get a sponsorship, don't expect it. You don't deserve fuck all. I don't care whether you've just got your pro card. Just because you've got a pro card doesn't mean that you deserve a fucking sponsorship. This is how it should go. If you are that good at something, a company would approach you. And if you are lucky enough for a company to approach you, then do not start fucking demanding shit and thinking. A lot of companies will use what are called ambassadors, which irritate me, and they say they're sponsors. They're not sponsors. What you're doing is getting a ton of protein and you're using a discount code and giving people discount codes. I don't get any of my athletes to do discount codes. I've got project managers, market development managers. In my office, we have a meeting every Monday, every Thursday, and frequently say, well, Aarron, why don't we do a discount code? Then it's easy to track sales. No, I don't care whether I sell one type of protein because of you one week, or whether I sell 2 the next week or 3 the week after. That makes no difference to quantity. I know I'm selling some.
It's all down to that trust again. If I'm
makes no difference.
If you're making me sell products to get more money, then it's just a trade. There's never any trust built.
You're just a salesman for me. That isn't a fucking sponsorship.
Exactly.
It's not a sponsor.
And these dickheads, you say, get a code or whatever, they call themselves a sponsored athlete. And all they're doing is using this person. So I buy a tub of protein. They don't even give it me. Say it sells for £30. They might give it me for 20. They're still fucking making money on me. Yeah,
and if you're an athlete, what you've got to think from a company's point of view, of course I sell maybe 1 tub of protein, 10 tubs of protein, and it will, or 20, 50, 60, whatever it may be, through Dean or through Lee or whatever, just by having their face there. But what you've got to look at it from a company's point of view, you're thinking, well, hold on a minute, I won this show, why haven't I got a sponsorship? Or I've been doing it this long, or I've got abs now. Look at it from a company's point of view. If I don't think I'm going to sell 1 more tub of protein by having you than what I would do without you, why would I want to sponsor you?
Yeah,
it makes no fucking sense. I had this question not long ago. So why would I want to sponsor you? What the fuck have you done? Well, I've got a pro card, okay, but your personality is shit. Yeah. And the best thing I learned about this industry is from Lee, and Lee told me this. He said it takes more than winning a bodybuilding show to be a good pro. No, and I was like, what do you mean? And he said, it's your attitude, it's your demeanour, it's how you conduct yourself on and off the stage. It's also your ability to win and give it what it takes. But somebody like Lee Priest, I have been on tour with him, and I've been to gyms, and I've obviously done seminars, I've done body power expos, and I learned a lot from him. Lee will stay there and not have eaten all day, and he will stay there until he's shaken the last hand and had the last photograph with that person. He won't go in the fucking green room for 2 hours eating a fucking sandwich. I remember the first year we did Body Power, the first time I was so-called famous, and I had a 2-hour queue, didn't I, Billy, in order to see me. And I think one of the Body Power people come, oh, do you want a break? Do you want to go to the green room and eat? Flex is in there and other people. And I was like, no, I don't. Because I'm not being paid to be there by a supplement. This is my company. These people are waiting 2 hours to see me. I'm grateful. I'm not going to make them wait another 2 hours while I'm eating a sandwich. Yeah. I'll eat a sausage roll and fucking shake their hand as it is, because I'm loving this moment right now. I'm like,
a perfect example who always stands out to me is Flex Lewis.
He's another great athlete.
He's a phenomenal athlete, but like you just said, it's the way he's off stage. He promotes himself as the athlete. Yeah. He's there to the death. He shakes every single person. Because you know, you've been there.
We both
three days long at a fucking Body Power, whatever. Yeah. It's hard. It's draining.
But I will like to add in, when you do get people, because Flex is a fucking superior fucking name. And yes, I might not go into the green room. I'll add that in when Flex was in the green room, because I'm not at the stage where I'm competing. But where you've got Flex and he's in the process of dieting, he does need to go in there because he needs to get his meals in. He has to look the best. So when you are a fan, I don't want to sound like a hypocrite here, but when you are a fan of somebody like Flex and you've been waiting an hour in a queue and then all of a sudden you're next and he goes off, please don't get pissed off with him. I remember Jay Cutler, he was chatting to me, I was on his stand, we were talking about something couture or whatever, and he had to go to the toilet, and a fan had been waiting an hour and got pissed off, but he was coming back. Mate, he's an athlete, he's human, he's got to go to the fucking toilet.
You've been there for hours, you've been there 3 days straight.
Exactly.
You need to have a piss.
What I get frustrated is the fucking the nobodies, whether they're a pro or whether an amateur, and they'll just fucking sit there moody on their phone while you got fans waiting, and they'll just be chatting to their mate while they're leaving their fans.
The world revolves around me.
And they're rude. Just
wait.
wait. Flex, you will never get that. Flex is just like Lee Priest. He gives everything back to his fans. I'll be honest with you, he's surrounded by... There's some people that are surrounding him that are fucking idiots on his team, and I don't like. But Flex as a person, I think he's a great role model in bodybuilding.
This is why he's one of the most liked bodybuilders in the world, because of the way he conducts himself.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
Going back to the sponsorship thing, I get asked this question all the time. It's usually young kids. How do I get a sponsorship?
Yeah.
And I turn around and say, how about you train your fucking ass off for 10, 20 years, win a shitload of fucking shows, become something, and somebody might come to approach you, and they get pissed off. They don't believe that. They're like, I want everything and I want it now. I did a show, I dieted, it was hard, I deserve a pro card. I said, there's 7.5 billion fucking people in the world. Why am I going to choose you when I could choose a Phil Heath or somebody like that? I can have anybody on my team if I pay them enough money. Why would I choose you? And they're delusional. They think they deserve it.
They do.
This stupid industry, the way it's going now, it's all social media side. A lot of these companies now are not, they don't give a shit what you've won and what you've achieved. They're going by how many followers you've got. So these people now are making fake profiles, fake pictures, buying fake followers just to get their profiles
we will end it on there. It's become fashionable, and there's a good and bad point to that. Yes, people are taking more interest in their health and their appearance, which is great, but people are doing it for the wrong reasons.
Yes.
I never started out with my videos for the intention to get followers. I talked about certain things I was going through at the time and certain issues. I didn't mean for as many viral videos to happen, and I was lucky. Now you've got people doing videos trying to get that following. And they can never do what I do. They can never be as big as what we are, because when you are the first to do something, you're always going to be the biggest.
But these people women are posting their ass, and it's basically like porn just to get attention. People do stupid shit to try and get attention, to get extra followers. Where the way you're doing it, you're giving out information, you're giving to these people, and they're relating to you. That's why they want to come to you.
You need to train for the right reasons. If you want a sponsorship, you want to be something special in the sport, you need to be training for the right reasons. Right now, it's all about selfies in the mirror, and as the clothing has to be as tight as what you can put on. When we were training, like you were saying, for the mental health reasons, for us, it wasn't actually about walking around with a tight t-shirts. We used to have back then what we used to call baggies, jogging bottoms, rag tops that used to cover everything. You wouldn't know a bodybuilder was a bodybuilder until he took his top off. And even then, we wouldn't, or the old school bodybuilders that I knew would never really take their tops off in public because they were self-conscious.
I'm the same today, and the better I get, the bigger I get, the worse I feel.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but that's
we'll end it there. Bodybuilding at the minute has become fashionable, and if you want to make something out of yourself in this sport, it takes more than a good physique and getting on stage and coming second or third in a fucking show in order to deserve a sponsorship or to be a good pro. You need the whole fucking package.
It's a long journey. It's not going to happen in 6 weeks or 6 months or a year. No. You need to be consistent about this and smash it and smash it and smash it. Then maybe down the line you might get some comeback from it. But if you're doing it to get anything back, you shouldn't be doing it in the first place.
And before we go, I want to add, Dean is creating, even though he's on the Mental Hamster team, he's creating his own company at the minute. We haven't even mentioned this in a minute, but we've got to be quick, we're running out of time. His own site, which is basically, I'm going to explain it because we have explained his own site. Everything we've talked about, he's going to be putting into a site which I'm going to be helping him with, and it's going to be about beginners are going to be welcomed. It's going to be educational. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be fun. It's
Legion. Called Legion. It's going to be Join Our Legion, so you can come and join our Legion, become a Legionnaire. And basically, we're going to have doctors, nutritionists. We're going to have different athletes on there, chefs on there, teaching you how to cook. And
it will be fully supported by Mental Hamster. And once it is fully functional and up and running, Mental Hamster will be plugging the shit out of it. We'll start off with the podcast in this room, and then there'll be links to it. So that's something to keep in the pipeline. But follow Dean on Instagram or
Dean
his Facebook.
Protein.
Dean the Protein. That's original. or his Facebook page, and you will see everything. And if you can't find him, you've only got to go to my Aarron Lambo Facebook page, and you'll see our videos, and you'll be able to link to him from there. But I think that's about it. Am I right, Bill? Right. Until then, you want to get some stuff, mentalhamster.com.